Yo, yeah, sa kwenya so ada wo studios ahwefo nyina se titiri ne mu a monam mo contribution so e dey bu adwumadie no work sika any abusuani nyina se yedamasiye pa enye mu anka ba ye ba eba ba ye recordings ni nyina no anka enye ye eni nti mu a mo contribute ye mo baba de two platforms work sika de two platform so ye hia mo akakra sene ye betimi ahia abrebia na yetimi aka yetimi ye nkyerɛkyerɛ ama ye hunu eye enema ehinta yan wasase so no ye beda obi bia se wuyi taku se wuyi sempo a wa wantimi anya bi kra no ye ka so obo ade nhira mu nyina ye ka ne sanso no uyi obi a wopese obo adwumadie ye a ubetimi ehun work sika ubetimi akone handles na se ewo TikTok YouTube comment section na se kra no ubetimi de ato ho.
I'll get back to you.
Na ye den work sika I get it back to you.
Yeah.
Nia ya hia emwa efri mu ane se won se dwumadie na nipa ba akofo ena eye. Nti no community no say bia if e be free nkran ena ba. Mi say mi free akra na bre bia me ba kumase ene baba e be hia. Na ni nyina ye eye madaroma. Ye beda masiye pa work sika any work studios say ye damasiye pa de mo yama ye no ye ni. Eni ti ye damu nyina amase. Ye damase.
So I just want to say a very big thank you to everyone that has contributed to bringing Doctor all the way from Accra to this particular place. It wasn't easy, okay, but most of you prevailed and I'm very grateful for that. Keep learning, keep understanding, and then keep growing, okay? The next thing that we actually need here, it is very hot, is an air conditioning system, okay? So if you can assist us, like he said, any form of donation that you can be able to reach out, go to the DMs or you can just comment the comment section. I'll reach out to you and then we'll get things done. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, Baba. Since we are discussing Abraham, I just want you to, there's something intriguing that I want you to touch on.
Okay.
Since we are discussing Abraham, that is tithing. Abraham did it the first time, the second time, and then Jacob also, did same.
Yeah.
Since we are treating Abraham, what can you say briefly about tithing?
Okay. When it comes to tithing, you have to go back. Okay, like you were saying with Abraham.
Right.
Tithing didn't start from today. Tithing is like a personal covenant that you make with yourself about the end results of what you would do if that kind of what you are seeking finally comes into being. It's like you telling God that if you help me go and then this deal works out, if I come back, I will do this in your name. Okay, you do that in their name. That is like the offering or the tithing of what it represents.
Right.
So in a way, it is not something that has to do with you externalizing things. It's about the internal way of you understanding things. Because most of you, when you tell God that if I go here and this place works out for me, I'll come back and do this. If you go there and it doesn't work out for you, if you come back, you are in fight with God.
Just as Jacob did.
You are in a fight. You see? That is like you putting an expectation on the end results of what will happen.
Right.
You see, so it's like you making a personal covenant. It's a very big thing. Okay, in relation to the titan of this world right now that everybody goes to churches, everybody goes to masjids, and then they give titan. Okay, it is in relation to it. But when you are talking about the house of Levi, they are the ones physically causing the issues inside of this world. Okay, we'll talk much about titan when we get to the houses of Jacob.
Okay.
And we talk about Levi and the 12 houses,
okay,
and how the Levi stood upon all the 12, and how this world is using the titan to discriminate everyone else and everything else.
Wow. Okay. So we wouldn't, in that case, we would continue with the story of Jacob and Esau.
Okay.
So that Baba brief us in more on what Jacob stood and what Esau also stood.
Okay.
Now, the first question I would ask is, why were both children wrestling in their mother's womb? I'll read from Genesis chapter 25, verses 22 and 23.
Okay.
Genesis 25, 22 and 23.
A lot of stories have happened. The interpretation is usually the issue to people. So you read it. You read and let's go.
Okay, so I'll take it from the 21 so that you have a background. Okay, as to why I asked that question. So Genesis 25, 21 to 23. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife, Sarah, Rebecca, because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebecca became pregnant. 22. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. 23. The Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two people from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger."
Okay. So
This is interesting, eh?
yeah, when it comes to the story of Jacob and Esau, it's telling you about the origin of what you stand as, be it you being a Hebrew, okay, or the one that is able to connect to the covenants of what God is. Okay, he told him very clearly that there are two nations inside of you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And we definitely know when they are talking about a nation, they are talking about you. You are a nation. You are one single universe. And within that universe exists countless number of people, countless number of races.
Right.
So you see, it's not just about you being an Ashanti or you being an Ewe, marrying an Ewe. And an Ewe can end up marrying someone from Australia that will end up having half blood, just like the way they did with Ishmael. It's possible. You see, so when they are talking about them wrestling inside of the uterus, they are talking about the 9 etheric essence that has been split into 2 particular forms. When I talk about the 9 etheric essence, it's like okay, it's like black people. What makes the opposite of black? Okay, it is not a violent way. They are not explaining violently. It's like me eating wache. Okay, I like eating wache, and you like eating rice balls.
Right.
Okay, definitely. If my mother is wache, I am the one going to be reacting to the wache. If my mother is rice balls, you are the one going to be reacting to those rice balls.
Right.
So in this particular extent, Jacob was the black, okay, of the reflected form of what Esau is as the white. So in this particular extent, Esau represents the albinos of this world.
Wow.
Esau is an albino.
So me pamcho me busa baba sembina or chiremu wahase. Baba pache say Ibusan say adena na mmofra ne mienu Jacob ene ne nua Esau. Eba ne sen na omo na yam no na ase omo di apreapre e wo mo na yam. Eno se safo no gina ho ema enipa hodo mienu. Didi kan eye sabio nipa tuntum. Ene ye nuanu ma wo mo ye ofiri anasa abrofo se ne ye ka no. Na mebema wa chiremu yi akwachire. Baba, how would we be able to tell? I mean, what indications are there to indicate that yes, this one is black and one is white?
The fact of the matter is that when it comes to the consumption of what melanin is, I made it very clear that God created you, gave you a piece of His essence. That is what you call the soul. But God does not dictate the outcome of what that soul chooses to be. Do you understand?
Yes.
God is the embodiment of everything. It represents the universal consciousness of everything that is alive. Even including this particular phone is alive. Including this particular thing is alive. If you put this thing outside of the sun for 5 seconds and then you come back, you see another form of reflected image created of this thing. That shows that it has a spirit essence inside of it.
Right.
It is made of solid, but if you put it on fire, it can become liquid. And then if you put much pressure on it, it can turn to gas. It is telling you the spirit essence, the embodiment of what God is. So you learn to understand God, okay, or a way in which the souls of this world works. And when it comes to the story of Jacob and then Esau, it's like the way that they absorb their character by building the way of their soul. Okay? Jacob built the soul by a way of being able to connect directly
with the mother.
And when it came to Esau, Esau had the other way round. He was developing in a sense of like the white gene. If I talk about the white gene, the one that causes your skin to change. Okay, the melanin on the inside is what causes the different pigmentation of the melanin on the outside.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
You absorb sunlight. That is the greatest melanin inside of this world. Okay, but what they don't tell you is that there's a bigger Okay, there's a bigger form of melanin, which is like the earth itself. They tell you about the black sun that exists down here, and the reflected form is the sun that you see outside there.
Right.
Okay. Okay. They are all one depiction, but the way in which you relate to it will tell you how far you absorb this energy.
Oh.
That was why they were always struggling. What this one likes, this one doesn't like it. The mother is eating one thing. The mother doesn't know that what is inside of me, there's an albino inside of me.
She wouldn't know.
She wouldn't know. The mother didn't know this.
Right.
And it was that particular evidence that God used to show this particular world and everybody else that it's not about your skin.
How well you are able to connect.
How well you are able to connect with me, able to connect with yourself. That is the most important thing. Because if you look at albino is black people. They have the kinky, curly hair.
Right.
They are the exact representation of black people, and yet their skin isn't black. Isn't that telling you something with every form of race that exists inside of this world?
Wow.
It's not about seeing somebody, you being a black person, you are a Mexican, you are a Korean, you are this person. That is not what's important. When you keep looking at color, that is division. Okay?
Right.
When you keep observing things and interpreting things through the form of color, that is division. So the two siblings inside the uteruses of their mother, that was the struggle. That was what the struggle was about. Okay, it was about me being this way and you being that way. Me absorbing things this way and with you absorbing things that way.
But Baba, you see, when we go to Genesis 25, okay, when we check Genesis 25 and 26,
okay,
it says, I'll start from the 24. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb.
okay,
The first to come out was red.
Okay.
And his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heels. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. Baba, I want to understand. First, the heel, Jacob holding the heel of Esau, and secondly, the names given to both of them. Does names we give to our children, do they really have impact on them?
At first, they look at the resonances of your soul before they name you. Okay? They look at your character, how you build up inside of this world before they name you. Naming ceremony wasn't organized when you are born. Okay?
Oh.
No. It wasn't organized when you are born. It was when they are able to look at the futures of you. They look at your behavior in this world, and then they give you a name.
Right.
Back in my village, they have people that they call them Akayor. That means no name.
Really?
Yeah. No name. They don't give them a name. people don't understand. When it comes to you naming a particular thing, it's about you understanding what that particular thing is before you can name it. You don't just get up and name an animal without knowing the features of it. Calling somebody a unicorn, meanwhile you definitely know unicorns isn't like this. You calling this person a goat, or you seeing a goat and saying that it's a goat. Why do you call a goat a goat? Why do you call a sheep a sheep? A sheep is a sheep because of the way it is ignorant.
Right.
Its foolish nature is what is making it call you a sheep. And they are calling you a goat because you are wise and stubborn. That means that you are able to read the characteristics of these particular animals before you name them. So what right have you to understand what your child is? The moment they are born, you give them a name.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
You give them a name. And they named him according to the features, the physical features that they saw on Esau's body.
Yes.
He was hairy
and red.
So they named him Esau. You see?
Right.
He was the first to come out. The albino was the first to come out. And Jacob followed, holding his hair, holding his leg. And you've never heard anybody inside of this world giving birth to twins. If they are tied that way, then they become semi-twins.
Yeah, twins.
Yes. You see, but this is the case that they weren't. You were just holding the legs of his brother. And then they all came out.
So the struggle actually started right from the womb.
Right from the womb. Okay? They are trying to tell the difference of their birth, what they actually represent when it comes to the physicality of it.
Okay, let me ask this question before, trying to break this down for, those who wants us to translate. Baba, what is so special about twins?
Okay. There are two types of twins inside of this world. Okay, there are two types. We have the ones that you call the fraternal twins or the identical twins. The ones that develop from one particular sperm cell.
Right.
Okay, 90% of the time, when you look at what the identical twins are, they have more similarities when it comes to the way they work inside of their brains. Okay, they feel each other. They are like of the same vibration. So they understand things very deeply.
Right.
But when it comes to the other form of the twins, which is like the non-identical, okay, they are the ones that usually have opposite personalities.
One is fair, one is dark, one is tall, one is short.
One is caring, and one is always the crazy one. Okay, you will have them in two perspectives. That is like two different souls having different frequencies that exist inside of one body.
Wow.
So it's always like two sperms. Okay, a sperm one is supposed to be the one that enters the ovum to fertilize. But in a case where the ovum is able to harbor, because I told the divine feminine, you can have at least 9 souls inside of your own self.
Right.
That's why you can see women giving birth to like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children
at the
same time. You can do that. So if you are able to call in the frequency, the father's sperms is not just one particular frequency. No, it houses the frequency of the entire collectivity of what it means to be God.
Right.
So within that particular sperm fire, there are those that are carrying the frequency of 333. There are those that are carrying 444.
Right.
There are those carrying 555. So if you ended up those that are carrying 333 and those carrying 444 are the ones to fertilize the womb, and that is when you end up having non-identical twins.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
They used to be celebrated back in the day. They used to organize a special kind of like
feast or ritual.
Yes, to honor them, because it isn't easy.
Wow, housing two souls
inside of the body isn't easy, and they always link their umbilical cord to the mother. That is what the ritual is about. Because the only person that can talk to them for them to listen is the mother. Is the mother. So like they have a higher sense of emotion. When they come into this world, they have special needs.
Right.
Okay. So if you don't tend to those special needs and then make the offering to appease their senses, 90% of the time they grow wild, and when they grow wild, there can be a lot of destruction in the family.
Because their needs are not being met.
Their needs are not being met. It's not about this the physical representation of it, Okay, you are not worshiping twins. No, you don't worship twins. It's about understanding what it means to be a twin.
Right.
And if a twin can harness that particular kind of energy and understand that, okay, this particular feast is organized for me because I was born on this particular day, they have more essence, okay, of receiving more information from God than you that is not connected or is not grounded to the mother.
Wow.
That's why they have pots. Okay, they'll have pots, rituals, they'll put something inside. We have twins back in our day. Okay, my grandmother had twins, and the opposite of our house, they have 6 twins there. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Wow.
Yeah. So they'll organize a feast. You go inside, you see their pot. Every twin with their pot. The mother will come in. They will do the rituals, the second. They will boil beans. They will boil bambara beans. They will boil kosi. They will boil masa. They will boil all these different kinds of food, because like the way that they are, they love the scent of things rather than eating them.
Right. They connect to things at much deeper level.
Yeah. They love to sense things. So if you are frying things that are smelly, that's why you say that if you keep spraying, the gene will come and enter you. What? That is what they love, things that are smelly.
Right.
You see? So the more you appease them, the more peace that they enjoy, or they are happy, and their combined energy will keep boosting the family.
Wow.
It's a secret.
Wow. Mama me monitor fa kakra. Na baba kan sembi. Me busa me di kan busa no fa Jacob and Esau kwan omo fa so a omo edi apreapre wo mo na yem wa kirem se sene Bible ne kan se omo yo oman mienu no ejina ho ma nipa tuntumfo ne abrofo na esono bia ne kwan ofa so a odinya enuane mu ahode ni free omo na yem ntino Jacob ejina ho edema the original melanin. You can original melanated beings are. Me omo asebio, omo timinya ahodi feel wianimu nti na brebia no omo nipadua no tuntum. Na Esau ye the opposite. Esau na kwakwa so ono so bre ansana. Ono so ye nipa tuntum a but wenya ahoden na ohwehwe ne fiso mu nyina na no bia ne ahoden a wode nam. Jacob etiminya na ahoden no efiri o maame ho. Sa but Esau entimi anya ne de. Na me say busa ne say nti ye kantafo a ntafo hu hia na de na sese hu fa ntafo ho na baba e kire mu say ntafo ya de bi ase wo asase so na se wutimi nya bi na wuti ya adom na wutimi nya ntafo e wo yefunu mu a eye akra mienu na aba wo nipa baako no wo yem na okra bi agina ho ma mind baako okra bi agina ho ma universe the entire universe okra bi agina ho ma the entire creation if say nipa ugina ho ma nyame aniti ukura enyame no mu mienu ewo wo mu saafo enu se utimi hu o ma pede oma kwan ene kwan obetimi afa so ne oma atena ene oma nante a wo ne ma bekoso from ente sa abusua no oye nani ohaw ene beba ebusua ni ba me pese me se busa baba asem baako ekoba ne se awofo no empen bebre ye wo a yehu ni wo Jacob yehu ni wo eye your friend is Jacob ene ne yere Rebecca entem fu yehu ye ni se Isaac
and Rebecca
and Rebecca and Jacob and Rachel ye na me pese me ti ase se ba ne se na bibia no awofo no omfa ase abofra we na mpenasem we me mpenasem yehunu wo Bible nim ewo Genesis 25 27 and 28 or say the boys grew up and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. 28. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebecca loved Jacob.
It's very simple. Okay.
Why would you give birth to twins? And I mean, I'm going to say, and you're one. So, why would you say, Ade?
It's never true that you love one more than the other. The fact happens to do with relativity.
Okay.
How do you relate? Okay. Esau represented the night. Esau is night. Hunters hunt mostly at night, not daytime.
Oh.
Hunters hunt at night. Albinos have a 90% vision when it comes to their night rays than when they do of day.
Yes, because most of them usually do not like
They don't
the
like
sun.
light.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't like light. That is when they try absorbing melanin through the sun directly into their skin, it burns.
Right.
It's like vampires. Okay? But in this case, they have a very clear vision when it comes to their spiritual senses. They can harness the night more than anybody else. They talk about anything that is spiritual or that can beat a black person. It's an albino.
Wow.
Anybody that can face a black person and win, it's an albino. Okay, so when it comes to them loving, them telling you that Rebecca ended up choosing Jacob, and then the father ended up choosing Esau, it isn't true. Or even in your entire family, you understand that you are not the favorite of your father because everybody's trying to be the favorite, except that one child that doesn't have the time.
Right.
And he's usually the one that is the favorite of the father.
Which is usually the case.
You see? You the one that ignores your father is the one that your father listens to mostly. Because it's like, you've given birth to me. Yes, I understand, but you are still human. You are still experiencing life, and I know you still have things that you need to do. So when it comes to this particular context, if you are if the scriptures are making it feel like, oh, these two, they were born enemies because of how the mother chose this one and this one not chosen that one, that is not the fact of the issue.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That's not the fact of the issue.
Okay.
They were all given a nation. They all represent an aspect part of yourself. But whether you chose to go it on the left way or whether you chose it to go on the right way, all depends on what your soul chooses to do. You understand?
Right.
When you put much focus onto what you are, okay, you begin to understand a deeper context of what it means to be you.
Right.
Okay, if Jacob hadn't left her, the probability of Esau becoming rich is very low.
Really?
You see? If he hadn't left her, the probability of Esau becoming rich would have been very low. Because you can't exist in the same environment that hurts you.
Oh.
You see? It's like the way that all the prophets, they try to tell you to understand. You can't stay in your comfort zone and expect to make it in life. It doesn't work. My mother loves me, my mother loves me. My mother has his life, and I have my life. Okay. The father Isaac loved Esau. Yes, you loved him very much. He was the firstborn, and every firstborn of the parents is always their mother's favorite or their father's favorite.
Right.
The problem is that it's either it turns out to be your best friend or it turns out to be your best quarreling partner.
Right.
Okay. It's like you are giving birth to a reflected form of yourself. Do you understand?
I understand. I understand.
So when it came to these two twins, the fight had to happen. They had to have disagreement. But that doesn't mean that they weren't brothers. They still understood each other. But a way of growing is by a way of you learning to move.
Right.
Okay?
Right. I'm reading something from Genesis 25, verse 25 downwards. It says, the first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand, grasping Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. 27. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, and Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. 28. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. 29. Once, when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished." That is why he was also called Edom. Then Jacob replied, "First sell me your birthright." And this is what Esau also said. "Look, I am about to die." Esau said, "What good is birthright to me anyways?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. But the question I want to ask is, if there is no enmity between them, what came over Jacob to ask for his brother's birthright?
Okay. This is another story taking a whole different turn when it comes to the representation of what Jacob and Esau is in this particular physical world.
Okay, break it down.
Okay, it's a very long story. Okay, but just to put it simply, they told you about certain individuals inside of this world or that came into this world at a certain point in time. Okay, I don't want to go deeply into these stories before we start finishing the Bible.
Right.
Okay, but what I want you to understand is that there's soup here and then Jacob and then Esau returning back from town being famous, and it's like, "Send me your birthright." It isn't something that is physical.
Wow.
Okay, it wasn't like, "Sell me your birth." There was no way Jacob could change who he is. Esau couldn't change who he is. There's no way you can absorb the energy of the sun, and there's no way of me even telling you that, okay, you can have it.
Because by nature you are not.
By nature you are night and you are day. There's no changing of this. Okay, but if you are putting it at the context of a different civilization, then you will understand things. Okay.
So, Baba, please try.
We'll talk about that civilization when we get there.
Because see, what will come over a younger brother to ask for the sale of the birthright of the senior brother?
You can't buy my birthright. We didn't share the same placenta. You don't have my placenta. And everything about birthright, everything about you enjoying inside of place life, everything about your physical representation is inside of your placenta.
Even
That
though,
is why cows, goats, whatever, when they give birth, 90% of the time they eat it back.
yes, that's true.
That is for safekeeping.
Wow. So even though they were both connected via the umbilical cord,
Yes,
they both had separate.
they had separate placentas. That was why the absorption didn't go as the way that they thought, and there was like now a fight. There is selective reabsorption happening inside.
Because they both had different energies, different
frequencies. You see?
Right.
So when it comes to like him coming all the way from town, came and telling his brother, I'm famished, you should give me the food. And the brother was like, if you want me to give it to you, the elders first. Then he's like, okay, no problem. You are the elders. Can I have the soup now? Is that how easy that they change destiny?
No.
If they could change destiny like that, I don't know the number of people that will be talking.
Wow.
You can't swap people's destiny like that. Okay?
Wow.
It's like you are inviting a trial onto your life. When you are someone that you actually felt deeply that you can take something from someone that doesn't belong to you, you are inviting a challenge from God.
But Baba, let me ask, does it mean that we should also be careful with what we agree or what we covenant with?
When it comes to covenant, I want you to understand there are 5 primary covenants inside of this world called within your own self. Okay, there are 5 covenants. You are made up of 5 vessels. There are 5 covenants within your own self.
Okay.
The covenant between you and God. Okay, that is the original covenant about you understanding what you represent inside of this world. That is your first covenant. Okay. The second covenant is with you, the body, as the guardians of your own being.
Right.
Okay. You have guardians, spirits that protects you. You have spirits that whispers to you in a form either do this or do that, or be able to bring you luck, or be able to bring you this. Those are the second spirits that you go into covenants with.
Right.
Okay. And when it comes to the third part of the covenant, that deals with your own celestial being that exists within your own self.
Right.
Like the Jacob or the ladder. Okay. That is a particular covenant. Each of those particular doors is inciting a certain amount or a certain aspect of what you represent. You are the soul. Okay. We'll talk more about the soul resonances when we get to the story of Jacob and him dreaming about the angel.
Right.
And that way you understand.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You go into a covenant with those particular entities. There are 3. There are 7 inside of your own self. Learning to understand them is how you make covenant with them. You can call them in a case of an emergency. Your ancestors used to do that, but the way that they did it, they do it in a form of life exchange. Because of their ignorance, they couldn't understand the power that exists within them. So instead of exacting vengeance, they would rather surrender their will so that the spirit will take over them to execute that particular task, and then they die.
Wow.
Okay. It's like you forcing to enter into the awakened state, because the spirits that are inside of you, they are of an intense in nature. There is no power that exists outside greater than what is on the inside. So when they forcefully take over this particular body without your permit, or with you permitting them to take it over, they can tear this body. This body will not survive.
Right.
This body will not survive.
Wow.
Okay. So when it comes to making covenant, the 4th part of the covenant is about you making intentions. The covenant of intentions with other spirit outside of this world. That is why these people usually go out and make contracts. Say, I'm using this spirit to heal this one. I invite this spirit. I invoke this spirit. You do this to
call this angel. You put this and that together.
I am calling this angel. I am calling these angels. No, that is the 4th one.
The covenant.
Yes. You've made a covenant with an entity of an equal exchange. It gives you this and then it takes that. It gives you this and then it takes that. That is how it works. That is the 4th covenant. There is no 1 or 2 there. If it is 5% that I'm giving you, you are giving me 5%.
Right.
Okay. And the last covenant is the covenant of existence, which is you in this physical realm. Okay.
Right.
The covenant that you choose to do. Be that, I promise God, if I do this, if God is able to do this for me, I'll be able to do that. You see, some people send things into prayer You go into prayer to be able to manifest a specific thing inside of your life. It's a covenant that you are trying to make.
Oh.
Okay, it's a covenant that you are trying to make. You are not seeking the fullest understanding of what you represent. That is another form of contract, like I tell you, that is the first one.
Right.
You are not seeking the fullest understanding. No, you have a prayer point.
You just want a particular
thing to manifest.
Instead of understanding the whole
thing. You want one particular thing, and that is the contract that you make on this particular physical flesh. And 90% of the time, we'll call that the contract of blindness or the covenant of blindness. Okay?
Because you are entering into something without understanding, having a detailed...
Yeah, instead of you like seeking the whole of the thing, you just want, okay, I want my headache to go away. But you understand that the headache was there for you to alert you about certain happenings inside of your own self.
Right.
It's very simple. It's very simple. 5 types of contracts, and you need to be aware of each of them. Understanding them deeply is about you growing in awareness. Once you begin to understand, I told you that it's not about how do I know my guardian angel. The guardian angel will come to you when you are able to receive the dream. There are certain levels that they exist. They can only come into this world when in case of emergencies. Your guardian angels can come here in case of emergencies.
Right.
They can appear to cause certain kind of loop. Okay, from you escaping one particular thing that would have killed you. Okay? They can do something to you that you actually feel like, damn, this isn't normal.
Just to be able to solve a situation.
Solve a situation. And
then quickly leave.
That is how it is. Okay? They are always there. They are always there. But you getting the awareness will allow you to understand how they speak to you.
Right.
Okay? That is like you making a covenant with the whole thing. You understanding God. The first covenant is between you and God. So you understanding God, God will tell you everything that exists inside of you. By way of your awareness, you will understand exactly what God is talking about. Which of the contract is speaking to you? Because most of you inside of this world, you make contracts, or your ancestors makes pre-contracts that is still affecting the current generation that you are living in right now.
Wow.
People have said that, I my 4th generational daughter to this particular entity. I give this my daughter, I give this my son, I give this part of my household to this particular spirit on the contract that we've gone before man and then God.
Right.
That when the time is due, all shall be collected of tribute. Spirits don't die.
They live for a much longer time.
You understand?
So they would make sure
that on that particular day that was promised, when it gets there, they will take over the body of that particular family member. And you, those inside of the family, you are so ignorant that you don't understand. You will be like, she's being possessed by a spirit. Spirit is controlling her doing this way. You will carry her all around the world and you will never find any answer, because the spirit doesn't rob the flesh. The spirit cannot take you over without your permission.
Wow. Wow.
No spirit can inhabit the body without the body's permission.
And the body is also connected through blood, through ancestral
lineage. So through that particular ancestral lineage, if you are beginning to feel like this, then you begin to need to seek yourself from the within. You have to start working personally on raising your own vibration. That is the only way you can get any closure to the spirit telling you that, okay, I made a contract with your ancestors, and this was how it went. And now it's time for payday. So now I'm taking it without your awareness. I don't care, because that is your own ignorance.
Right.
Okay.
You should have known.
You should have known. Your ancestors is a secret that should have been passed down.
From generation
to generation. Terrestrial spirit, making contract with spirit that protects the home, spirit that takes care of the family members. These are what happens.
Wow.
When you do something in the past that you think that, if I die, that ends it, it becomes a problem.
Wow.
It's a knowledge that a family and a abusha would the family's treasure. That is what it is. I say abusum, like it's in the house. It is there for a particular purpose, and the purpose is either to protect the family members or provide wealth for the family members. In return, you are supposed to be sacrificing either a cow, either a dog, either a cat at a specific moment in time.
So the moment you do not do that,
then it becomes the flesh. You will pay it in pound.
Mr. Baby, asem na yeka no akoya asem a emu eyeduye pa. Mibusa baba se eba ne sen na Jacob etimi agye ne nua paniye And I'll say, untimi nyene sao. Untimi sorry keke. Enye obi mpani nyesa if says no bia ne na ho ode an ode nam. Nemo mo no ade ba ko ehia. A me busa baba so ne se. Ene na nipa o se yehwe ya no kasa yie efa apam a ya ye ne nipa bi ko. Ene o se nye nipa nko a na pam ye omu ahodo num. Ye wo apam a oni onyame.
Yeah. The first pam.
Eno ni apam edi kan. Apam a ye wo ni onyankopon apam. Eno na kire woni nyankopon hyehyɛ ya amomienu no oba asase so sɛ wo bɛyɛ den wo bɛyɛ ne ɛtɔso mienu agina ho ma ɛyɛ the celestial
the guardians of your own self
the guardians of your full self no ɛno gina ho ma sabio wɔn wo bɛba asase so no nyankopon ɛne onsusu yɛ mu no bɛhia wɔn mo a asase so na ne wɔn ayɛ den oni wɔn atena yɛka bi sɛ ebi yɛ abɔfoɔ ebi ɛyɛ sabio ye na nanom ahoɔden a ɛkɔ tetebere mu nso no ɛsan so di akyi so ahu ani to obi wɔ hɔ a ɔyɛ adeɛ bia asɛ ɔkɔtɔ amane mu bom sɛ prakopa no wafiri mu na asɛ nyame bɔfoɔ bi abeyi na firi mu yɛnte aseɛ saafoɔ ne ɔmo a ɛne ɔmo kɔ apam ansa ne yɛba asase so apam a ɛtɔ so mmiɛnsa no which is the third one ɛna the celestial ɛyɛ covenant no celestial covenant ne gyina hɔ ma sɛ wo yɛ nyame nti no wo ba no unyame su na nkasa na ewo wu mu no one ne kwa apam ansa na wo ba asase so ani nti usu na ewo wu mu no ene wakande ne ubi bia ene na gina ho ede ma wo sa wo ye ohan na wo ye nsoroma ne nti no sa apam no ene toso miensa apam e toso nan
the one you make with the spirits of this world
sa apam a woni ahonhom e wa asase so ye ebia yes me frɛ bɔfo we fa nneɛma we keka nneɛma we bom me kɔfrɛ bɔfo asomasi me kɔfrɛ honhom asomasi na me na kasa na me nya nkita hodie ɔse ne nyinaa no enkemfo ane de hia wom ɛyɛ sɛ apam na wo kɔ no wo betimi ayɛ wo de na na ifisa honhom wu ahonhom tena kyɛ ani tunu bɛyɛ wadwen sɛ bia wo ne ɔmo kɔ apam ɛnɛ no kyena wo de bibia ayɛ den ɛde amomo na ebi ɔkyena ne nu na wonte ase ɛba ne sa nipa ɛwɔ abusua ne mu ɛna ɔmo de ɔmo wede ɛyɛ den ɛgye ɔmo na ɔmo de ɔmo ahoɔden ɔmo na ɔmo de ɔmo fifire ɛgye ɛne nti na bible ne kan ne sɛ ba ne sɛn ɛna nananom ɛyɛ mfomsoɔ ɛma anana foforɔ a aba no ebetwa so aba afei apam a ɛtɔ so enum ɛno na etwa to koraa no ɛyɛ apam a ɛyɛ wo nipadua no wabrabɔ a wo bɛbɔ wɔn a wo ne wɔn bɛkɔ into a contract nkɔmɔ bi a wo bɛdi kwan a wo bɛfa so a wo bɛbɔ wo bra apam bi wɔ because wo ne obi bɛhyia wo ne nipa no bɛkɔ apam wo ade na mo ame ma menya adeɛ wei yɛwia a yɛbɛkyɛ ne 50-50 onsa ka wo deɛ ɔno nso sa ka ne deɛ no yɛ apam ne bi o
ɛne physical apam na kɔ me ne wɔn dan
ɛno nti ne nyinaa mu deɛ ehia na ehu ɛne sɛ wonnim apam a yɛde to hɔ nanso wo ba betua so ka ɛfiri sɛ ɛyɛ wo nananom mogya na edi wo mu afurusane ɛne nti apam biara wo fam ɔhaw bi a wo fam amane bi a wo fam no ebi a na yɛ apam bi a mogya na nam mu ne nti wotua so ka ɛne nti sɛ woante wo ho ase na woampere ɛnhunu kwan a wobɛfa so a wode bɛhunu wankasa wo nyame so ate wo mu na watimi de anyini na akɔyɛ sɛ ɛsan sɛ mepa adeɛ wei nti no mepa ne straight forward woma me wei a me so mɛma wei a ɛba ne saa abere biara no na wobrɛ wasefoɔ ɛbrɛ ɛne abusua ne mu no wode ɔhaw ne amaneɛ ɛto wo ne wasefoɔ so ɛne enipa a ɛwɔ abusua ne
ɛba ne saa no like wo blame abusua no you blame the family you will blame everything because all the time maybe I will be everywhere you go inside this world they'll tell you the problem is coming from your family
right